Seeing more and more reports of damage coming out of Shanghai as the strongest typhoon that hit the metro area since 1949 blew overhead here on Sunday. 400,000 people were evacuated ahead of this storm, and you can just see the power. One reason why you do not go outside, please, during a typhoon. Now it is a tropical storm moving off towards the west, still having impacts across eastern portions of China, including around the Yangtze River Basin. Do expect additional flooding. But not only is this the storm we're watching today, we continue to track tropical storm Pulasan. It's expected to intensify and head towards southern Japanese islands and maybe even out here across Yunnan province as we look ahead into the latter part of this upcoming week. Typhoon winds, though, we're seeing there in Shanghai. 400,000 people were evacuated out of the storm. A Typhoon Glory was that storm I mentioned in 1949 that blew overhead, and they haven't had one directly over the metro since then. Talk about been some time. Of course, plenty of impacts, but that eye wall. Meanwhile, though, let's talk about Pulasan. I have a separate video talking about what's going on out here across the Philippines. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check that out. Still got inflow impacting Guam and the Mariana Islands. Scattered showers that should start to taper off, especially as we head over towards Tuesday and into Wednesday. But with this storm, really expected to remain lopsided. And what I mean by that, almost is monsoonal inflow on the right side of the storm, while dry air kind of filters in on the left side. So if you are on the right side, it's going to be a completely different beast than those on the western portion of it. And watch this as it passes just south of Okinawa Honto. That means places across Okinawa very well could see those winds blow in from the east. So, good news for, maybe places like American Town there, where you're kind of sheltered, but anywhere along the east coast, that's where we're going to be seeing some of the rougher weather and definitely high waves as this comes overhead, maybe even tropical storm strength winds. As we've seen with the last storm, though, even if this edges a little bit further towards the west, or those bands set up maybe off towards the Amami Islands, that could change things up. But Wednesday evening, definitely looking at the potential of some tropical storm strength winds. Maybe not damaging winds, but definitely the persistent onshore flow. Watch this. Here's our low-level setting here by Wednesday midday. Those winds wrapping around. And if you get some of these isolated bands kind of kicking on through, those could even have water spout threats, things like that as we look ahead through Wednesday and even over towards Thursday before our storm kicks off there. Likely going to be coming on shore into eastern China just south of Shanghai. Here's the broader picture. As we have this storm, Pulasan, we also still have what is going on out here towards the Philippines at our tropical depression Henner, currently moving over Luzon, and on Wednesday still have the inflow impacting the west coast of the Philippines, which definitely bringing the threat of flooding out there. So I mentioned a separate video discussing what's going on with that one, but the west coast of Luzon looking at some pretty tremendous rainfall. And I do want to turn the page here just a little bit, and I'm going to break this down more so in the coming days, but this is interesting. By Saturday, look at our big fat high pressure over Siberia, eastern areas of China, and look at the winds coming in from north. What does that remind you of? Cold surge. Maybe the start of the northeast monsoon being triggered by these lows and these storms. And this is also forcing our low to not recurve so much or run inland, almost sit and maybe retrograde towards the south as this cold surge just smacks. And that's going to bring some maybe nasty thunderstorms, likely nasty thunderstorms this weekend across a good portion of Japan as that cold surge smacks with our warm air. And I say cold surge, you're thinking, well, how do you know it's cold? Look at Ulaanbaatar's low 5. Tomorrow it's at 0. And the day after that, it gets down to even negative numbers, which cold air mass building, it's got to go somewhere. It's going to head south. And when that happens, we get the jet stream that comes with it. And watch this. You get that low kind of coming in. There we go. Here's our upper level jet right there. It's going to settle in and basically smack and cause this storm system to shear out and retrograde. And that could allow that cooler air and northerly winds to start to spill in. It's just the start of the northeast monsoon, but the breadcrumbs are being laid out here for the setup of that. And even seeing that here on this graphic, our storm passes over Okinawa, looking at massive waves. Don't head out to the coast, especially along the eastern seaboard. Even good swimmers probably be a bad idea. Heads off there towards Shanghai, but then we start to see the waves build in across the Sea of Japan and build towards the south. So yeah, there's plenty to talk about here. Here's Ulaanbaatar's forecast. 0 on Thursday. Oof, rough go at it. And then even heading over towards Friday, we're still looking at these chilly temperatures. All right. If you have any questions, though, please let me know. That's what I'm here for. And I try my best to get back to you. Of course, keeping you posted on this storm. And if you are in the Philippines, you're like, where's my update? I do have a separate video breaking down details with that. But of course, like and subscribe. And if you want to support this channel, never put it behind a paywall. And I'm not saying you have to, but it does go a long way with helping me out. So if you watch these videos on a daily basis and you're like, you know what, Robert, I want to help you out, please check that out. All right, thanks for watching. And the number one thing, of course, as always, is stay